Imagine this. You wake up every morning, put on your work clothes, and head out to your job. You work hard all day, earn a paycheck, and by the time you get home, most of that paycheck is gone, spent on bills, debt, and everyday expenses. You might be doing everything right, but somehow, you still feel stuck in the same cycle of financial stress. Now, what if there was another way? A way to break free from this cycle, to truly achieve financial freedom, and to make money work for you instead of the other way around. Welcome to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a groundbreaking book by Robert Kiyosaki that completely redefines how we think about money. Kiyosaki shares the lessons he learned from two father figures in his life: his biological father, whom he calls Poor Dad, and his best friend's father, Rich Dad. Each father had a completely different approach to money, work, and life. Poor Dad believed in the traditional route of getting a good education, working hard for a steady paycheck, and saving for retirement. Rich Dad, on the other hand, taught Kiyosaki the power of financial education, investing, and creating passive income streams that can work for you. This book isn't just about personal finance. It's a blueprint for transforming your mindset and your life. Are you ready to stop working for money and start having money work for you? It's time to learn how to build wealth, create multiple streams of income, and break free from the limitations of traditional financial thinking. So let's dive into the world of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and begin the journey towards financial freedom. One of the most crucial lessons from Kiyosaki's book, the importance of financial education. Why do so many people struggle financially? It often comes down to one thing: financial literacy. Now let me ask you, how many times have you worked hard week after week, only to feel like you're stuck in the same place, barely making ends meet? Maybe you've been putting in all your energy into that 9-to-5 job, but at the end of the month, the bills pile up and you're left wondering, is this it? Is this all there is? Well, what if I told you that the reason so many people end up in this cycle is because they never learned how money really works? Imagine if you knew how to make money work for you, instead of working for money every single day. Wouldn't that be life-changing? Kiyosaki shares a powerful story of two father figures in his life: his biological father, whom he calls Poor Dad, and his best friend's father, Rich Dad. Now, Poor Dad was like many of us. He believed in traditional education: get good grades, go to college, and work hard for a paycheck. I bet some of you can relate to this. How many of us have been told, get a good job, and everything will be fine? But here's the thing. Poor Dad never understood the power of financial education. He lived paycheck to paycheck, constantly worrying about bills, and never really building wealth. But then there's Rich Dad, his best friend's father. This man didn't have the same formal education as Poor Dad, but he understood something crucial: how money works. He taught Kiyosaki how to think about money differently. Instead of working for it, Rich Dad taught him how to make it work for him. He showed him the power of investing, of creating income-generating assets, and how to think like a true entrepreneur. I know this might sound unbelievable, but this shift in thinking could completely change your life too. So which path will you choose? Will you keep following the same old way of thinking, stuck in the same financial cycle, just like Poor Dad? Or will you take the bold step, just like Rich Dad, and start learning about money in a way that sets you free? The choice is yours. Assets versus liabilities. One of the most important concepts in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Kiyosaki defines assets as things that put money in your pocket, like real estate, stocks, or a business that generates passive income. Sounds good, right? But on the flip side, liabilities are things that take money out of your pocket. Think debt, car loans, credit card bills, or those unnecessary expenses we often don't realize add up over time. This distinction is vital because it's the difference between building wealth and sinking deeper into financial struggle. Let me ask you this: are you accumulating assets, or are you drowning in liabilities? Think about your own situation for a moment. Do you own things that put money in your pocket, or are you constantly paying off things that only drain your bank account? Take a look at your spending habits. Are you investing in things that give you a return, like property or stocks? Or are you buying things that bring no long-term value, like a new car that just loses value over time? or spending money on things that don't generate income. I know this might hit home for many of you. I've been there, racking up debt, thinking those nice-to-haves were worth it. But at the end of the day, they didn't bring anything back. That's exactly what Kiyosaki is talking about. The real question you need to ask yourself is, what do I own that generates income? Are you making your money work for you? Or are you working for your money? This mindset shift could be the difference between financial freedom and financial struggle. Next up is the infamous rat race. You know the drill, right? You work hard for that paycheck thinking, this is it, this is what I've been working for. But then, before you even get a chance to enjoy it, bam! It vanishes into bills, debts, and expenses that never seem to end. It's like you're running in circles, putting in all that effort, but always coming up empty. Sound familiar? We've all been there. Kiyosaki encourages us to break this cycle, this never-ending loop of working to pay bills. He shows us that the key to escaping the rat race is building wealth through smart investing. That means shifting your mindset from working for money to making money work for you. The question is, are you ready to make that shift? Think about this for a second. What if your money worked for you instead? Imagine waking up each day, knowing that your investments are generating income, even while you sleep. Doesn't that sound like the dream? Picture this. You don't have to work for every dollar anymore. Instead, your assets are working for you, creating passive income, and giving you the freedom to enjoy life on your terms. Wouldn't it be amazing to have that kind of financial freedom? To not worry about how you'll pay the bills this month, because your investments are taking care of that? That's what Kiyosaki is pushing for. A life where you're no longer stuck in the rat race, constantly chasing a paycheck. Now that's the life we all deserve. Entrepreneurship is another cornerstone of Kiyosaki's philosophy. And it's a game changer. Rich Dad instilled in him the value of creating and owning businesses. Instead of just working for a paycheck, he taught Kiyosaki how powerful it is to own something that generates income on its own. Think about it. What if you could create something that brings in money even when you're not actively working? Doesn't that sound like the dream? Are you ready to take calculated risks? I know it can be scary, taking that first step, stepping out of your comfort zone, and venturing into the unknown. But let me remind you, every successful entrepreneur started somewhere. They didn't have it all figured out. They didn't have all the answers, but they had one thing: the courage to start, to take that leap, and the willingness to fail and learn along the way. Think about it. What business idea have you been holding back on? Maybe it's been in the back of your mind for years, but fear, uncertainty, or doubt has kept you from pursuing it. What's holding you back? Maybe you've been thinking, it's not the right time, or I don't have enough experience. But the truth is, no one has it all figured out in the beginning. The key is to start, and then learn as you go. Just imagine what could happen if you took that first step. What if your business idea becomes the next big thing? What if you could build something that works for you, that creates passive income, and that opens up new possibilities for your life? Entrepreneurship isn't just about making money. It's about creating opportunities for yourself and for others. Are you ready to take that leap? One of Kiyosaki's core principles is making money work for you. Yes, you heard that right. The wealthy don't just work hard to earn. They understand the power of creating multiple income streams. They make their money work for them, so they don't have to work for money their entire lives. Sounds like a dream, right? But it's not just for the rich. This is something everyone can do. Think about it. How many ways can your money generate more money? It's not just about earning a paycheck every 2 weeks. That's the old way of thinking. What if your money could be working even when you're not? What if your investments, your real estate, or even your side hustles were bringing in money day after day, without you having to put in all the effort? Isn't that the true definition of financial freedom? If you're relying solely on your paycheck, you're missing out on so many opportunities. You're basically putting yourself in a box, limiting your potential. But imagine a life where you have different sources of income, where one paycheck isn't the only thing keeping you afloat. What if you could build assets that generate cash flow, like rental properties, stocks, or even creating a small business? Picture this. You're sleeping, and your investments are working for you. You're on vacation, and your money is still making more money. That's the beauty of making money work for you. It's not just about working hard, it's about working smart. And the good news? It's never too late to start creating those income streams. Next up is the power of sales and marketing skills. This one is huge. Kiyosaki strongly believes that even the best product, the most amazing idea, won't succeed without effective selling. It's not enough to just have a great product or service. If you don't know how to sell it, how will anyone know its value? You can have the best thing in the world, but if you can't convince others of its worth, it's just going to sit there, gathering dust. Have you ever thought about how crucial these skills are in your life? I'm talking about whether you're selling an idea to a potential client, pitching your business to investors, or even selling yourself in a job interview. Every day, in every situation, you're selling something, whether you realize it or not. And the better you get at it, the more doors will open for you. Think about your own life for a second. Have you ever struggled to get a point across or convince someone to invest in your idea? I know I have. And it wasn't until I learned how to master the art of sales and marketing that things really started to change. Whether you're selling a product or just trying to get someone to believe in your vision, these skills can be a game changer. Imagine you're in an interview. You've got the qualifications, you've got the experience, but do you know how to sell yourself? Are you able to show the interviewer why you're the best fit for the role, not just through your resume, but through how you present yourself? Sales and marketing are all about effective communication, persuasion, and understanding human needs. And once you master this, you'll find opportunities popping up everywhere. Overcoming fear and taking risks. This is a big one. Fear often holds us back from pursuing wealth, success, and the life we truly want. We get scared of failing, of making the wrong decision, or even of what others might think. But Kiyosaki argues that understanding and managing risk is essential for success. Without taking risks, we can never grow, learn, or move forward. What fears are stopping you from taking that leap? Maybe it's fear of failure, fear of losing money, or the fear of stepping into the unknown. But here's the thing. Every great success story started with someone who was afraid, just like you, but who dared to take that risk anyway. They took that first step, even when they weren't 100% sure. And that's what made all the difference. Think about your own life. What's something you've been holding back on because of fear? Maybe it's starting your own business, investing in real estate, or taking a new career path. If you let fear control you, you'll never move past the comfort zone you're stuck in. But if you can face that fear, manage the risk, and take that first step, you might just be the next success story. Let me tell you a quick story. Think about all those entrepreneurs who started from nothing. They weren't born with a silver spoon in their mouths. They took risks, failed, learned from it, and kept going. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, even Robert Kiyosaki. They didn't get to where they are without overcoming fear. They didn't let the possibility of failure hold them back. And you shouldn't either. Work to learn, not just to earn. This is one of Kiyosaki's most powerful lessons. He advocates for working not just for a paycheck, but for knowledge. Too many people work just for the next paycheck, but they forget that every job is an opportunity to learn new skills, gain experience, and grow personally and professionally. Kiyosaki encourages us to seek out positions that will teach us valuable skills, because those skills are what will set us apart and propel us toward financial freedom. What skills could propel your career forward? Are you learning the right things in your current job? Or are you just going through the motions, getting by? Think about it. What could you be learning right now that would make you more valuable in the future? Whether it's leadership, communication, marketing, or tech skills, the knowledge you gain today will pay off in the future, often in ways you can't even imagine yet. Think about the most successful people in the world. What do they all have in common? They didn't just work for a paycheck. They took jobs, internships, and opportunities that helped them develop new skills. They understood that investing in themselves, learning new things, taking on challenges, and gaining experience was the best investment they could make. And that's exactly what allowed them to build wealth and create success. Let me share a story. Consider someone starting out in their career, working in a low-paying job, but learning everything they can about the business world. They might not be making much money at first, but the skills they're learning are building the foundation for a much bigger future. The person who focuses on learning becomes more valuable, grows faster, and eventually outpaces those who only focus on earning. Investing in yourself, whether through courses, books, mentorship, or on-the-job learning, pays the highest dividends, far more than any stock or asset ever could. The mindset of the rich versus the poor. This is a game changer. The difference between the two is absolutely staggering. The wealthy focus on opportunities, while the poor often dwell on limitations. The rich see challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, while the poor tend to see obstacles as reasons to give up. It all comes down to how you perceive the world around you. How do you choose to think about problems? As roadblocks or as stepping stones? What mindset do you adopt every single day? Are you looking for solutions, or are you fixating on problems? It's easy to get caught up in the negative, to dwell on everything that's wrong, but that's what holds you back. The rich focus on what can be done, how things can be improved, and what opportunities exist, even in the most difficult circumstances. They train their minds to find solutions, to be creative, and to think big. Think about it. Every time you encounter a challenge, what do? Do you see it as a problem to be avoided, or something to be tackled head-on? The rich ask themselves, how can I make this work for me? The poor, on the other hand, might ask, why is this happening to me? That simple shift in thinking is what separates those who get ahead from those who stay stuck. Here's a story that might hit home. Imagine two people, both facing the same setback. Let's say they both lose their jobs. One person immediately starts looking for new opportunities, networking, and considering ways to turn this challenge into a new beginning. The other person starts complaining, feeling sorry for themselves, and blaming the economy. The first person focuses on what they can control, while the second focuses on everything outside their control. Which one do you think will come out on top in the end? Remember, success isn't about what happens to you. It's about how you respond. The mindset you adopt, optimism versus pessimism, solutions versus problems, shapes your future. The power of passive income. This is the holy grail of financial freedom. Imagine money flowing into your account without you lifting a finger. Sounds like a dream, right? But Kiyosaki introduces us to the concept of passive income, and it's exactly what we should be striving for. Passive income is the key to not just surviving, but thriving financially. It's the money that works for you while you sleep, eat, or even take a vacation. Think about it. What if you could set up income streams that required little to no active work on your part? Whether it's rental income, dividends from stocks, royalties from a book, or even online businesses, the goal is to have your money working for you instead of the other way around. This is the kind of income that gives you financial freedom, time freedom, and the ability to live life on your own terms. How can you start building passive income today? It's time to think strategically about where your money goes. Instead of spending everything on bills, expenses, and luxuries, think about how you can invest in things that generate income for you in the long term. Maybe you start small, investing in dividend-paying stocks, renting out a room on Airbnb, or even starting a side hustle that could eventually run itself. It doesn't matter how small you start. What matters is that you start. Let me share a quick story. Imagine you spend years working a 9-to-5 job, exchanging hours for dollars. Then, you decide to invest in a rental property. At first, it's a lot of work, finding the property, dealing with tenants, handling repairs. But over time, the property becomes a source of passive income. Your tenants are paying rent, and you're building equity. That's money coming in every month without you having to punch in at a job. The more you invest in income-generating assets, the more this passive income grows. Start now. Don't wait for the perfect moment or think you need a ton of money to get started. Building passive income is a journey, and it starts with making that first step. And remember, it's not about how much you make, it's about how much your money can make for you. So there you have it, the key lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Financial education isn't just important, it's essential for breaking free from the rat race. Which lesson resonated most with you? Are you ready to change your financial future? Let's continue this conversation. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button if you found this valuable. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on achieving financial freedom.